Hello, and welcome everyone to this Advantere Talk about AI and its implications to modern jobs. I'm Ana Portillo, student of Master in International Management at Advantere. In a rapidly evolving digital world, understanding the implications of the new trends within our job careers and job searching process has become crucial. As you all may be aware of, AI has become the most recent, biggest, impactful innovation to modern society. That's why on today's session, we're going to talk about how the AI revolution has changed the job position in the job market and what type of skills are now required, what advantages and disadvantages has AI, and what's the future behind it. We'll also dive into practical tips on how AI can enhance your competitiveness within today's jobs. And finally, we will make an emphasis on the importance of maintaining ourselves updated with all AI skills, regulations, and news. Now, I'm excited to introduce you to our guest speaker for today's talk, Miguel Valdivieso. Miguel is head of talent and transformation at an important firm you may all know, IBM. And because of all his trajectory within tech and innovation industry, he has also become an AI coach recently. You can read all of his articles on AI frequently on his LinkedIn profile. So welcome, Miguel.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to be here with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. So let's get started. AI has become the topic of the year. I would say everyone is talking about AI recently, and it has caused a lot of interest within the society, but also uncertainty. Considering the rapid integration of AI in the workplace, how do you foresee the evolving landscape of modern jobs?
Well, first, just to make a reflection on this, AI AI is not new. AI we've been working within the AI ecosystems for probably the last 10 years as IBM. But what has dramatically changed all the technology ecosystem in the last year, and that's been recent, and that's been massive, and that's been a thing, is everything related to generative AI. So, and that has its implications. And as you mentioned, Anna, I don't think, this is a personal opinion, I don't think that the impact of generative AI will be as huge as we can read in the news, as this is going to destroy jobs, this is going to create jobs. I'm not quite sure on the figures and in that impact, but what I'm 100% sure is that this is going to have a huge impact in the jobs and the roles as we know it right now. In the sense that generative AI and, let's say, the democratization of AI as with the generative will imply a change in the nature of the activities and the functions that any white collar, and this is important because what we are seeing right now is a change in the, let's say, administrative services, thinking, everything related to information, because blue collar professionals already went through this transformation some years ago with what it was called the fourth industrial revolution in terms of automation and so. And now it's going to affect to, let's say, the workers of knowledge. And in this sense, generative AI is going to affect everything related to the administrative and less value tasks that are currently performed by these kind of professionals. This is going to free time, but this is going to also demand more qualified professionals in the terms that the focus on value and the focus on the decisions that are taken with the level of information that we are going to enjoy right now is going to be completely different. And that what we foresee is that will also imply changes in the organizational structures as we know them. Because this will, as we reduce administrative weight, we increase the value and the speed, then many of the functional services and where they are produced can be translated into the business. And that will change probably the organizational structures as we know them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're speaking, this is a new revolution, and it will definitely change all about how we know today the job market, right? So, as this AI becomes crucial in today's job market, what kind of practical tips can you share for individuals to leverage it effectively and stay competitive within the job market?
Embrace it. That's probably my most compelling advice. Embrace it. And embrace it means start thinking on how to use it. Start thinking on how you can leverage these AI solutions, either the common market foundational models like OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Google Bar Gemini, or Meta, whatever. It doesn't really make a real difference at the end. Or if you if you can enjoy being one of the organizations that are deploying Microsoft Copilot, that will make also a big change in terms of productivity, just embrace it. And embracing means knowing how it works, being resilient in the way you use it, being very demanding in the results and how you ask these solutions to work for you. Pay a big concern in the risk and ethical implications of the use of this technology. And also embrace the mindset, the technology, and the lifelong learning mindset.
Yes. You're talking there about ethical, right? And I believe that's really important. Now, considering the extensive impact of this AI within the job market, what would you like, or what do you envision for the future of AI, particularly in terms of its potential benefits and challenges within the market, and how can individuals, but also organizations, best prepare for this evolving landscape?
Yeah. In the bottom line, generative AI means productivity, means an increased level of productivity in everything you do. That can be measured from a 20 to a 40% of your daily tasks, depending on how you are exposed to this kind of knowledge work. And that's going to have a huge impact in what you do. Regarding this, everyone has to be very aware of that this tends to be an intermediate output in this sense, that this is intended to support all of us in doing our jobs, what implies that you have to incorporate to the equation your critical thinking, a big amount of judgment in what you get and how you use it. Was reading a study 3 weeks ago that the extension of the use of GPT in the work area is 2 out of 3 professionals probably are using GPT, and 50% of these professionals use them without making the managers aware that they are using these tools or not. And this may have some implication in the quality of what you get, in how the process of generating this information in how has been this process. And although all the actual providers of generative AI actually assume and publicize that they are going to take any risk in terms of intellectual property and so, you have to be very aware of the use, how you use it, how do you train the models, and what's the final outcome, how you put in this final outcome into practice.
Yeah. In that sense, would you believe that in order for an AI to function, there must be always a human behind? Because you mentioned that it's a support rather than something that replaces what humans do.
I wouldn't say a human behind. In fact, this is, for me, this is the idea of generative AI. This is not to have a human behind, but yes, you need a human on top. So because all the deployment of generative AI, and for all of you that are probably extensive users of GPT, requires specific skills to make it work. So you have to be very sensitive, very discretionary in the instructions that you give it, and you have to be very demanding in the results that these models are giving, because we live in an ecosystem, in a society in which information flows faster than we like and with less critical thinking that we like. So it's our responsibility to be able to governance this tool right now.
No, absolutely. Now, part of this uncertainty that has been created among this AI that we were talking about before is that if the use of AI will ever be regulated. And it was something that a lot of people was talking about before. So a couple of days ago, the European Union made the introduction of the first AI regulation law, the first ever created regulation law. I know you wrote something about that in your LinkedIn. I saw that. But my question is, how crucial is it for us as individuals and also, well, organizations to stay constantly updated, not only in the use of this AI skills, but also on the evolving regulations and laws that will be creating in the next years?
Okay, I'm not going to opinate in what's my thoughts on the European Artificial Intelligence Act and how we have got there. But I firmly believe that having a clear common sense in the use and where does the information, the inputs, and how the generative AI works is essential to be successful in using this generative AI. What I mean with this, the Artificial European Act identifies several risk levels that are common sense. You can't use a specific AI for specific uses, like identifying people, like taking decisions on behalf of an AI, and so. I mean, that's common sense. If you don't trust on facial recognition to evaluate the person, you can trust a machine doing facial recognition, and so. But that was, to give you an example, that was an initiative that was paralyzed 2-3 years ago without no need for regulation, and being clear on what's the content and what a generative AI model like GPT is based is essential to use it for businesses and for personal purposes as well. So my principal claim is on common sense. It's on common sense. What you wouldn't use in, let's say, with no AI support, or what you judge and raise a concern in a specific use without AI, it's exactly the same right now.
Okay. Would you say that the essence behind all this AI and, well, the evolving technologies that will be created in the next years is not like what's being created, but how we use it and the advantages that we take over that tool?
Yep, absolutely. So to give an example, some years ago, we generated AI based on user cases. So you have a use case, you create a AI expert system to perform on that case. Now, the generative AI, the large language models, very few of us, I'm not one of those, who are able to understand what they are capable to. So it's in our hands, it's in our responsibility to find the use cases and to make them as ethical and less risky as possible, because it also implies risks.
Yeah. Okay. And now, as we wrap up on this insightful discussion, it was really, really insightful. A big thank you for joining us
Pleasure.
today and sharing your valuable insights. And special thanks to our engaged audience of today. Well, remember that the journey of AI is ongoing. This is just, well, not starting, as you mentioned, but is evolving, and it's requiring continuous learning. So just stay curious and keep innovating. See you on the next talk, and hopefully we can have you next year also, Miguel. Thank you.
Hopefully. Bye-bye.